Hello everybody, Ace here, giving it to you straight with day 34 of the video log challenge, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about how the light has already won and how we are already moving exactly to where it is we need to go. Now that's faith, and faith is essential right now, especially with how loud all the darkness is screaming, with how in your face all of these different mandates are, how fear is running rampant throughout society, virtue signaling, people being mean, people punching people in the face, people fighting. All of this is happening for us, not to us, and it's happening for our benefit. But we can only see that through the right perspective, the higher perspective, from the higher conscious 5D level. And the reason the light has already won is because the light cannot lose. That's the whole point of this entire movie we're watching, in reality, is to wake us up out of the deep slumber that humanity has been under for thousands of years, the matrix, the 3D, the density, to elevate above the fray, to elevate above the veil, and to see what's really happening and going on, not just in the world, not just in society, but within our own bodies, within our own minds, within our own hearts, our own souls, our own families, our own communities, our own jobs. It's a microcosm to a macrocosm. Everybody's going through a final boss battle right now. We're moving towards the event date of 12/21, where there's going to be a whole new level of energy being pushed into the planet. And what we're seeing is the birthing of a new Earth, the birthing of a new humanity. And considering the fact that we've lost our humanity over the last 50, 60 years, we could use a little more. But it starts with us. It's the only fight there is. The only battle there is the one with ourselves. And the only way to win that battle is to surrender, exact opposite of what we were told, fight, 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 resist, resist, resist. But if we were to surrender into that battle with ourselves, surrender into believing in something bigger than ourselves, knowing feeling that has our best intention in mind, our best path in mind, that is how we can exist above the fray, exist above the veil, and look at all the craziness happening and going, I see it, I observe it, I respect it, but I don't want to play in it. And that's how we start beginning to strengthen our relationships as well. We start seeing people acting unconscious, and instead of going, okay, we say, hey, you're acting unconscious, and this is what I see, and this is what it's doing, and this is how it's affecting me. I respect you, I don't judge you, I appreciate you, but I would also appreciate the fact that you treat me a specific way, because how you're behaving right now is affecting me on my path to let go of fear, to let go of anger, to let go of judgment, to let go of ridicule of ourselves and of others, and continue to make an impact in the world, to continue bringing the world together, unifying. And not unifying out of fear, and not unifying because you fulfilled somebody's expectation, but unifying because it's what we want to do. Unifying because it's what is needed to be done at this time. And unifying because, honestly, we're all really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't know about you, Prison Planet 2020 has been a hell of a year. And what I've been given the gift of is of insight and of seeing for the first time what is real and what isn't. And I'm telling you, people, a lot of not real is happening in the Matrix. A lot of illusion, a lot of manipulation, a lot of propagation, because it's meant to keep us dazed and confused and in lower vibrations, in our lower chakras, in lower frequencies, so that we're not actually expanding and coming into the eternal beings of light that we really are. But if you're watching these videos, and if this message resonates with you, that means you are doing the right work at the right time. It means you do see it. It means you do see the stuff that's going on. And I'm proud of you for that. It's not easy. I'm sure you've lost some friends. I'm sure you even had to cut out some people from your own family. I'm sure you've even had to exchange the relationship with yourself. You've had to change your beliefs. You've had to stop judging. You've had to check yourself. You've had to go within. You've had to quit doing the things that were killing you. And all of that takes work, and it's hard, and it's difficult, and it's messy, but you're doing it because you believe something is happening that we don't necessarily see or understand, but we inherently know. We've been imbued with the knowing, the understanding that it's real, it's permanent, and there's nothing that can stop what is coming. The storm is no longer upon us. The storm is already here, people. And with storms come new dawns, and with new dawns come new life. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about this analogy, right? So I live in Florida, hurricane season, and the prominent trees in Florida, for the most part, are palm trees, correct? And if you look at the way palm trees are built, they're built to be able to bend, right? They're able to bend and withstand hurricane force winds. And even the fronds, the way that they grow, the actual fronds of the leaves, the palm leaves grow, and that creates the stalk, right? And every time it sheds a layer of itself, it gets bigger. It becomes more of itself, right? And I was thinking about this the other day, of how we, until recently, really didn't know why the world did the things it did. So say the Middle East, for instance, every year the desert has these massive dust storms that get pulled up, and it just coats all of the Middle East in dust. And everyone's like, what's the point of that? Well, they've realized that that dust storm is actually what gets sprinkled into the oceans. It becomes food for the protozoa and the smaller organisms that the smaller fish eat, and the bigger fish and the bigger. And so in a way, just like water being deluged from the Arctic every year, pushing fresh water into the world and then being circulated through the jet streams, we're also having all this dust going into the ocean to feed the life that ends up eventually potentially feeding us. Same thing with this idea with the hurricanes and the palm leaves. When we have gusts of wind, the palm leaves get pulled off, they get taken away, the palm trees are free of all that debris, and they're able to grow healthfully. But when you see a palm tree that hasn't been maintained or hasn't had those fronds taken off, it looks tattered, it looks like a mutated version of itself. And that's exactly what's happening with our bodies as well, is when we put the wrong foods in it, the wrong content in it, the wrong music in it, the wrong conversations, the wrong relationships in our vibratory field, we become mutated versions of ourselves, and that is what we're trying to heal from right now. That is what this whole healing journey is all about, this path of being human, this event date, this ascension, the 5D consciousness. That's what all this is about shedding all of the preconceived notions of who we are, all of the emotions that we've had stored in our toxic bodies for so long, all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the misnomers, the misbeliefs, and shedding all of that to finally become who we've always been in every life, which is an eternal being, a fractal of God, co-creating a human experience in 3D form. But now we get to be in 3D form. As our carbon-based DNA turns to crystalline, we can bring in more light, we can gain access to our higher self, access to our oversoul, access to our Akashic records, and then actually live the life that we designed for ourselves for the first time, potentially ever, in the history of being a human on this planet for all of us. What I gathered is this game I've been playing for a very long time. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in soul lineages, and what I'm gathering from my studies and my channelings is in a way, through the woman, the soul lineage is brought. So we always have this obsession with, we need a male heir to pass on my genes. Well, a lot of people don't understand is you need a woman to pass on your soul lineage, your fractal of light. So can we be our grandmothers? Yes, we can be our grandmothers. Can we be our mothers? Yes. And with the male body, that ends the soul lineage. So when I go and co-create a new life form with my future wife, it'll be her soul lineage that will go into those forms. Her fractals of light will go into those forms, and mine will end. And when I move on, that's it for my lineage of soul for however long I've been here. Personally, I think I've been here since Atlantis. Recycling lives in different fragments and different fractals. Maybe not this specific frequency, but as the oversoul fractal, when we can live millions of lives, we have millions of opportunities, right? I'll go into deeper details into that in another video. But in reality, I believe what's happening is we're going through these final boss battles right now at this time, 5 weeks until the event date, because the light has already won, and now it's just to do the work. It's to let go of as much of the stuff that's blocking our light body from coming through and allowing us to be free of poison, free of chains, free of manipulation, free of propaganda, free of fear, and where we can finally bring in love, we can be loved, and we can become more unified as we continue this path to 6D. We're not stopping at 5D, guys. Just like I had the same idea about the election. Oh, the election's going to come, and then that's it, a landslide, and all of a sudden now we're going to go live on frolicking fields of daisies, petting kittens, and riding on unicorns. But that's not life. It's just not life. That's Matrix. That's fantasy. And that's fine. You can have that in your imagination, but then you got to bring it into reality. When we close our eyes into the field of quantum. We close our eyes into the quantum field. This is the realm of possibility. And through raising our vibration and visualizing ourselves walking into our future, into the realm of actuality, reality, we then co-create and manifest that experience through our mind's eye. Through the realm of possibility into the realm of actuality. And what reality is, right? It's human. It's messy. It's icky. It's real. It's rough. It's raw. But it's beautiful. And it's incredible. I don't know if you've gotten to the point yet where you just get love bombed by the universe and all of a sudden it feels like your body's like you're having a bodygasm. That's when you know you're aligned. That's when you know you're vibrating on a whole nother different level, is when you are literally walking around in pure bliss all the time. But if you're not, that's okay. That just means you have more work to do. And so start asking yourself, stopping, breathing, asking, listening, and trusting that you're doing everything you need to be doing in every moment to get to where it is you're trying to go. You have to have that faith in yourself. In yourself. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I have faith in God. I have faith in the universe, but that faith starts with me. Until I started gaining more faith in myself, I couldn't surrender to something bigger than me. It starts with me. It starts with asking. It starts with listening. It starts with trusting over and over and over again. That's the work. The work isn't being kind to people. That comes with the work you do on yourself. The work isn't being taking care of people. That comes when you take care of yourself. That's a byproduct. Being nice to people, being generous to people, being kind to people, having someone's back, being there for people, doing all that external stuff is a byproduct of the stuff we do for ourselves. And if we're doing that first and neglecting ourselves, that ain't it. And that's why our egos go crazy, and that's why we're unhappy, and that's why we become bitter, and that's why we become resentful, is because we're watching ourselves do all this stuff for others, except for the one person who actually needs it, and that is us. But I have a feeling you've been doing that work this year. I have a feeling you've been seeing that more and more, especially this last couple of weeks. These last couple of weeks have been intense. There's been a lot of emotion, a lot of old emotion and memories being processed, memories and emotions on a collective level, on a communal level. It's not just our stuff that we're doing it for, guys. It's not just ours. Every time you transmute something from yours, you're transmuting it for the collective. We're all connected. It's all one consciousness. So half the time you're even transmuting something, it might not even be yours. So when you walk into a place and you're feeling icky because the energy in the place is bad, don't go, oh, I need to get out of here. Start breathing. Start using your tools. Start embodying it. Bringing in that light, because the light has already won. It can't lose. It's not how this game works. It's not how this universe was set up. This universe was set up for us to be exactly where we are at this exact point in time as we travel through the universe. Because at the same time, we're on this rock, right? We're in a snow globe floating through nothingness, right? Nobody really knows what's going on, but what I'm gathering is that we're about to move into a new part of the universe that has a whole nother level of energy, has a whole nother level of consciousness, has a whole nother level of reality. And if our bodies aren't decalcified and detoxified, and we aren't able to bring in more light, the amount of pain that's going to cause for people when they have no choice but to purge all of that emotion because they didn't do the work at the right time. That's the other side of this, people, is we're all going through this. We're all being reborn. We're all purging these emotions, except there are some people who are embracing it and doing the work, putting the right stuff in their bodies, putting themselves in the right places to heal. And then there's the other people that are still in the matrix, holding on to the way things would be, accepting this new normal, wearing masks and social distancing, and that our immune systems don't work anymore, and that that socialism is actually a really good process, and that we don't need property rights or anything like that anymore. You know, these are just fear. Because we're so overwhelmed trying to survive every day that we don't want any extra responsibility in our lives that's outside of just maintaining. So why would you want the responsibility of owning a house? Why would you want the responsibility of having a job? Why would you want the responsibility of having to make your own way and having to figure it out when you can have the government tell you to do it all? It's because we've given up our sovereignty because we believe that this is the only way. But the more people like us stay strong, stand tall, speak out, and do the right work at the right time within us and be the beacon for all the people who are still asleep, it's inevitable. Math, science, real science, it's inevitable. Frequency. It's how this works. How do you think you get movements to start? It takes one person with an idea to get a movement to start, and then you start talking to other people and you get it where they're at. You make it relatable, and all of a sudden you have Martin Luther King pushing civil rights 100 years after the Civil War, pushing civil rights. Because one man at the right time in history had an idea and believed in it so much that it became bigger than him. Martin Luther King Jr. was not a perfect man, just like Donald Trump's not a perfect man, just like none of us are a perfect man. But they were the perfect men for the time. We are the perfect people for this time. And it's not going to be just one person. It's going to be all of us, because we really are in this together. Not the way they want you to think it is by, oh, wear your mask, we're in this together. Oh, stand away from me, we're in this together. No, that's bullshit. That's programming. We're in this together because you need to be doing your work, I need to be doing my work, and we need to be holding each other accountable to that work, because that's the only way that we're actually going to get where we're trying to go in this world, in this country, and in our individual lives. So the light has already won, people. You got to have some faith, but that faith starts with you. Stop, breathe, ask, listen, trust. Surrender to something bigger than yourself. Do your research. Educate yourself. Learn about the temple. Learn how the body works. Learn about religion. Learn about real history of religion. Start learning about real history of our country and of our world. Not to point fingers, not to protest, not to make conspiracy videos like I was doing because I wanted to be in the fight, because I felt like I had no control. I felt like I was not a part of anything. I'm a part of everything. We're a part of everything. We are everything. We are expansiveness. And that's just what I wanted to leave you with today. It's time. The light has won, and it's time for us to do our work, and we are. And that's what's so crazy is subconsciously you're doing the work already. We're just kicking and screaming the whole way and making it miserable for ourselves. So if we just surrender and accept that this is what we need to do, at least until December 21st, which, okay, this is a healing journey, though. All of life is a healing journey. But for the next 5 weeks, if we were to just focus on nothing but us, nothing but what we need to heal, what 2021 and beyond is going to be, whew, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a harvest on so many different levels. And the more you do this work, the more you realize how abundant you really are. The more you realize how healed you already are. The more you realize you're already whole. And the more you realize that you're doing the work anyway, all that's left is just letting go of the old narratives and programs that are saying that you're not doing the work, and that you're less than, and that you're this, and that you're that, and then you're this, and that you're that. And the only reason that those programs are playing in your head is because you're not listening to yourself. You're not stopping. You're not breathing. You're not asking. You're not trusting. You're not seeing how other people are affecting you is how you're actually affecting yourself. And the more you start paying attention to yourself, the more you start giving yourself attention, the more you start listening, the more you start adhering to the things that your body and your temple and your ego and your subconscious needs. Not your ego needs like, I want to go bang every woman that's alive. I want to go eat every cheeseburger that's there. No, that's filling holes. That's escaping. What the ego needs is your attention. What the ego needs is your love. What the ego needs is to know that it's not alone, and that you'll have its back and your back, and that it could take the reins and give it to you. It can now let go. It can now heal. It is now safe, because it's the only thing that's kept you alive this whole time, and you don't even give it any respect. You give it no attention. You give it no acknowledgement, and you don't know why nothing's ever good enough for you. Nothing's ever good enough for me. It's because we're not good enough for ourselves, but we are. And that's what we're finding right now. We are enough. All of us are enough, especially together. The 99% are enough. Now we have to show. So we think it. Now we got to make it real for ourselves so we feel it. And once we think it and we can feel it, then the doing is no problem. But if you're having resistance to doing, it's because you don't believe in it yet. And if you're having resistance to doing because it might not be the right work at the right time, you might need to be doing something else. And so that's why I say, just surrender into the rest of this year. Surrender into what you're doing to heal. Surrender into this craziness that's happening. We don't even know what this country is going to look like on January 20th. How are we going to make plans? How are we going to plan a trip when we don't know what's going to happen in each and every one of our states, every one of our countries? So there's no time for planning right now. There's no time for that right now. All there is time for is loving yourself some more, trusting yourself some more, listening to yourself some more, spending more time with yourself, spending quality time with yourself, doing what you need more than what you want, and changing the habits that are killing you so that you can create and embody habits that will help you thrive. But I'm super proud of you. Really, guys, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of me. It's the only reason I can make these videos. It's the only reason I can tell you that I'm proud of you is because I know you're doing the work, because I'm doing the work, and we're the same. Our experiences are different. Our frequency might be a little different. But in reality, we are the same. We are one. That's 6D. We're about to just come to 5D, which is unity. Let's just come together. Let's just stop hating a little more. Let's just start loving a little more. Let's stop gossiping a little more. Let's find positivity. Let's raise the vibration. I'm not talking about this lens from a hippie foo-foo. Let's all come together and hold hands and sing kumbaya. That works for people. It doesn't work for me. But what works for me is truth. What works for me is reality. What works for me is having these conversations with you and myself and making it real. Talking with people, guiding people, seeing that what I'm doing and what I'm going through, I'm not alone. And that when I do give people advice and they take it, it benefits them. I'm living my purpose, man. I'm living my dream. What else could I ask for? More money? More clothes? More shoes? More cars? More stuff? More people? What's that going to do? What's that going to do if I don't like me? What's that going to do if I don't respect me? What are clothes going to do if I think I'm ugly? What are clothes going to do if I'm fat and I'm uncomfortable wearing them? What are more people going to do if I'm attracting the wrong people into my life and I couldn't even spend time with anybody the last year? So what do we really want? What do we really want? And not what do we, the human form of us, really want? Because what the human wants is our attention and our love, and that's it. Respect, attention, affection, and love. But what do we, as the spiritual fractals of God, what do we want? We want to ascend. We want to evolve. We want to grow. We want to love. We want to be a part of things. We want to be abundant. And abundance is more than money and material items. That is the byproduct. Again, the secret lied to us. Again, double truth. There's 12 universal laws for a reason because they all coincide with one another to actually attract what it is you want in your life. But it begins by surrendering to something bigger than yourself, understanding that we are just made of light and that we live in a light matrix and that the light has already won. There's nothing we need to do anything more or anything less. We don't need to be anything more or anything less. Don't need to do anything more or anything less. This is who we are. This is what we are, and this is why we are here. To be the beacons, to do this work, to transmute the darkness, to hold space for people. That's why we're the light warriors. That's why life has been so hard for us. Because we are meant to lead this new earth. And it will be easier. It'll be challenging, but it will be easier because we will have the tools, the self-respect, the self-love, and the health to be able to go through those challenges without even blinking, unlike these last challenges where I don't even want anymore. I didn't even want anymore. Now I look forward to each and every one of them. Army of energy, baby. Let's go. There's no time left. There's no time left to be angry. There's no time left to be bitter. There's no time left to be resentful. There's no time left to be sad and depressed and all those, because those are all choices. Yes, they're very real energy and motion, but they're energy and motion. They're energy that needs to be processed out of us. And if we walk through the fire, if we face those emotions and figure out what they're coming from and what the root is, those emotions don't own us anymore. Every single one of my days is amazing. It's not to say that every one of my days isn't challenging and that I have moments in those days that I'm at my wit's end. But they're just moments in time. There's only one time, and that time is now. And every moment is beautiful, especially when you're being challenged, because that means you're growing. And you know, if you play video games, or you know, if you've played sports growing up, every year that you get better, it gets harder, but it gets more fun. The more competition, the more skill, the more people themselves are improving around you. That's when it starts getting fun. When it's not about when it's no longer about not messing up, but it's about how good can you do? How well can you be? And that's where we're at. So the light has already won, people. The light has already won, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful what's happening. The birthing of a new humanity, the birthing of a new world, all new systems. And if you're listening to these videos, you know this. You feel this. It's there. It's here. It's right in us. So just keep going. You are the light. You are God. You are all-knowing. You are all-being. You have done everything. You have been everywhere. All you are doing is experiencing a life you designed before even coming into form, and you're literally watching it play out so that you can evolve and grow your soul. So I want to leave you with that today. It's an important message from me. Seriously, it's a very important message because the light has won. The light has won already. No matter what happens, presidencies, elections, wars, all that, the light has already won, and you're seeing the cracks in the illusion. You're seeing the cracks in the matrix, and it's going to crumble. And as that crumbles, then humanity will rise like the phoenix from the ashes again. So with that, if you liked what you've seen and heard today, hit that like button. If you want to join the army of energy, hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out more content like this, check me out on Instagram at Conspiracy Realists. I'm pretty sure I'm out of Instagram jail now, finally. I'm going to reactivate my account, see if it's up. I'm on day 17 or 18 of Dirt and Hemisync. And I don't know what else to say, guys. But these videos are getting better. My flow states are getting better. I'm becoming happier. I'm becoming healthier. My relationships are getting stronger because I'm getting stronger within myself, because I'm removing my toxic load, because I'm healing my brain. I'm reconnecting my hemispheres. I'm regrowing gray matter. I'm doing the right work at the right time. And that's why I'm chronicling this healing journey now, is because I don't know what else to do. I can't tell any more people how to do anything. All I can tell you guys is what I see, as straight as I can give it to you, as truthful as I can give it to you. I just see it straight. I give it straight, and I know that it's positive, and I know that it's going to help people. I'm living my purpose, and I feel great every day, and I want that for you. So I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. I hope that you get a little bit further on your path today. I hope you gain a little bit of clarity on your journey. I hope you learn to love yourself a little more, and I hope you have a restful and amazing day. I love you all. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.